had an interesting experience recently, was on an airplane with a woman from the Midwest. She told me this story. She had been in the Salt Lake City airport. Her plane had been canceled, so she'd had a while to wait. She's just sitting there, biding her time. In walks an entourage. And she said it was an unusual-looking entourage. She said, I looked at these people and I said, they come from a different world than I do. Turns out it was two very famous rap stars. And if I told you their names, you would know who they are, but I don't want to tell you their names. But when she told me their names, I didn't know who they were, but I have since asked my nieces and nephews your age, and they have told me who they are. And she said they looked a whole lot different than I looked, and they dressed differently, and they had their bodyguards with them, and their appearance to her was a little scary. Well, they walked right over and sat right down by her, and were a little bugged that she didn't recognize them, and started to tell her about them and what they did. And she said the more they told her, the more alarmed she was, because they were very open about the fact that their whole thing was to get kids trapped in sex and drugs. And at a certain point, she said to one of these rap stars, she said, does your mother know where you are today? And then they talked a little further, and then she told her a little bit about her point of view about things, and she said, I guess I would have to admit to you that I have spent my entire life trying to keep the young people I know away from people like you. Pretty strong statement, but I have to say, she stood up for what she believed, didn't she? And in that moment when she said, does your mother know where you are? I think she was showing some fairly stunning leadership, trying to point that young person, fairly young rap star, back to where he ideally would have found leadership in his own life. Anyone who lives as they really believe and stands up for what they believe is a leader.